The highest education is that which does not merely give us information but makes our life in harmony with all existence.
Tagore Engineering College, established in 1999, is a part of the Tagore Educational Trust, which has a string of establishments with 30,000 students on its roll within a span of 21 years. It is situated in calm and serene surroundings on the Vandalur Kelambakam Road, 6 kilometers away from Vandalur Zoo. Today, it maintains the status of being one of the top engineering college in Tamil Nadu. Approved by AICTE and affiliated to Anna University, accredited by NAAC with a grade. Most Trusted Educational Award by IBC International. State-of-the-art infrastructure, fully equipped laboratories, library and sports facilities. Separate hostel facility for boys and girls within the campus. Wi-Fi enabled campus. Sports and cultural scholarship for students with outstanding performance in state and national level events. Merit scholarship up to 100% fees waiver scheme. College transport facility is available all over the city. We organizes conferences, symposium, in-plant training programs, internship, workshops, guest lectures, skill development programs and seminars regularly by inviting experts from various universities and companies all over the nation to encourage the students hone their personality and extracurricular skills. Also, it gives social and industrial exposure. We produced 7,000 plus graduates, 200 plus university rank holders. 100% placement, 76 recruiters on campus drives in this academic year, 10 lakhs as highest salary. We organizing job-oriented and personality development webinar series at free of cost to +2 students and diploma students regularly in this lockdown period. We conducted 53 such webinars so far. Online classes are conducted to our students for better prospects. Get the professional degree in the best institution. We offer following UG and PG courses.
Admissions open for 2020-21 batch. For admissions, contact 9952277001.
Vivek Sharma. I'm a PhD student at Macquarie University, Sydney, Australia. I would like to introduce myself. Basically, I was a student at Tagore Engineering College, and today I am privileged to have a webinar in the same college where I did my bachelor's. I was an alumni in the batch of 2005 to 2009. I did my Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Engineering, and I graduated in 2009. And it's like after around 10 years, I got the chance to be associated with the university and the college again. I'm thankful to the head of the department, and I would like to especially mention Dr. S. Sasikala. She was in regular touch with me, and because of her, I think this session was successful. And currently, I'm pursuing my PhD. I received the International Research Training Scholarship from Government of Australia. It is for the duration of my 3 years PhD. So currently, my research topic of my PhD is development of fault-tolerant schemes. So my research focus is on applications of electric vehicles. So today I will be talking about the research developments which I have done for my PhD. There were several publications which I achieved. So as we go on with the presentation, I'll be able to explain things. And regarding the presentation, I'll be focusing on what work I have done till now, or the future work I'll be doing. And this presentation, I have tried to make it as simple as possible. For more information or for more details, you can go through the research papers which I'll be mentioning at the end of my session. So welcome again for this session. and I would like to start my presentation. The research topic of my presentation is efficient fault tolerant schemes for electric vehicles. As we all know, everybody is working towards a global sustainable environment and free from the pollution. As we could see in this scenario of COVID, I know everything has gone worst, but if you see, there was a time when the air quality index of Delhi was supposed to be hazardous, but now during this COVID time, as there was no transportation, people were locked at home. The air quality index has significantly moved to moderate, which can be termed as like free of pollution for the city like Delhi. So everybody is working towards curbing this pollution, and now electric vehicles are the perfect solution for such things. As you could see now, there are electric cars running around in Chennai and cities like Bangalore. So definitely much developments have been going on. As an electrical engineer and my specialization towards power electronics and drives, I have focused on any fault occurring in the inverter side section of an electric vehicles. So the problem statement which I figured out for my research study was any type of failures due to the faults can lead to the converter's shutdown and results in non-program maintenance. Definitely, the system can go to a proper shutdown, and then these interruptions can result in high production losses or may increase your maintenance cost. Definitely, nobody wants to increase that cost. So definitely, this problem statement motivated me to go towards the fault tolerant systems. Now, when I did my literature review, I could find out that there are several types of faults occurring in the system. So it can be switch failures, it can be the supply failures, grid faults, and mechanical faults. As we are talking about the motor thing, so definitely it can be mechanical faults. But as you can see in the graph, the switch failures contributes to at least 40% of the total failures in the system. Now, these switch failures are further classified into open circuit fault and short circuit fault. So, open circuit fault can occur due to like gate driver failure or bond wire rupture or IGBT short circuit failure. And then again, short circuit faults can occur due to high voltage breakdown, the any high junction temperature rise or impact of the ionization. So the switch failures are basically classified into open circuit and short circuit faults. Now, in my research, till now, I have only focused towards the switch failures. I have not gone to the other types of faults because the switch failures were contributes to majority of the types of faults in the system, and the PhD duration is restricted to 3 years. So definitely, I have to restrict my research studies to a particular faults. So I have restricted myself towards the switch failures only. Now, my objective of my research is I should develop a system which should be of lower cost. The prototype should be of lower cost. Then, during the fault tolerant operation, after the diagnosis of the fault, the power quality should not be decreased. The power quality should not decrease, or the efficiency of the system should not be decreased. Then, when you implement any fault tolerant system, it should have fast localization of the fault. Localization in the sense in which phase and which IGBT has failed, that localization, and the diagnosis should be quick enough to facilitate a fast fault tolerant system. Definitely, this research is of great interest in areas like aerospace, military, and automotive industries. I have focused only towards automotive industries, and with the latest developments, I have focused my application only to the electric vehicles. As these industries follow a strict protocol for ensuring safety procedures during the operations of drives, so definitely these fault tolerant studies will be an essential system, or like will be a solution for the reliability of the drives. Now, in terms of solution for the problem statement, I would say I have focused on impedance source inverter fed drives and efficient fault tolerant topologies. So the very first solution, why I have gone for impedance source inverter drives, we have conventional voltage source inverters and current source inverter fed drives, but these drives cannot suffice for your overall DC to DC high voltage output. So in those cases, we implement impedance source inverters. Yes, there are very few literatures available on impedance source inverters, and yes, the question remains same whether these impedance source inverters can be industry feasible or not. But yes, we have developed the prototypes and we have tested with the electric vehicle supplied in our university. In that case, it works. So definitely, we will go for pitching towards an industry that yes, this could be a potential solution. So we have implemented a impedance source inverter. Those are nothing but LC coupled, like inductance and capacitance coupled impedance source network. They can provide high voltage gain while operating on a small duty ratio. Then second solution was go for the fault tolerant topology, and in that fault tolerant topology, we have gone for introduction of auxiliary leg. Auxiliary in the sense already there are three phases in the system. We are implementing the fourth leg, and if any of the leg fails, the total control transfer to the auxiliary leg. This efficient fault tolerant topology is yes quick in detection and reconfiguration of the system, reconfiguration in the system, introduction of the fourth leg. And definitely, as we require, there should not be any shutdown of the total system. The fault tolerant topology should ensure a smooth transition from faulty to post fault operation without shutting down the system. These are the several types of impedance source networks, and very much literatures are available on these types of systems. So presently, I have worked on traditional Z source. I have also worked on trans Z source. I've done on quasi Z source, embedded Z source, and all others are yet in progress. So I have results for around four topologies of the system. So these impedance source networks, as you can see, these are the coupled networks of LNC, and they are capable of providing a higher DC voltage gain as compared to conventional voltage source and current source inverters. Now, this is the overall circuit diagram which we have used to develop our strategy. As you can see, the input can be a PV array or it can be a DC voltage battery source. So yes, it was feasible with the PV array system. We have developed a PV fed induction motor drive for rural irrigation with fault tolerant capability. So the Z source converter is connected to the inverter module, which is then fed to the PMSM machine, which is permanent magnet synchronous motor machine. So permanent magnet synchronous motor machines are quite popular with electric vehicle applications. High power density ratio, feasibility with the system, and torque to inertia ratio is very good. So yes, PMSM machines are very much favorable in electric vehicle applications. So on the right hand side, this is the voltage and current experimental results. The overall system and the control algorithm is designed for better efficiency. Yes, if you implement a PV array, definitely we have a control algorithm for MPPT system also. Now, as I mentioned, in addition to conventional Z source, I've also implemented A source impedance network and embedded Z source impedance network. So these are the circuit diagram of such applications. So this is an A source network and this is an embedded Z source, which is again connected to the three-phase inverter. And then this is the auxiliary leg I was talking about. This is the fault tolerant architecture, and then your PMSM machine. So now, as I mentioned, what type of faults I'm focused on? I'm only focused on switch failures. The switch failures can be an open circuit fault. It can be a short circuit fault. For my research study, I have focused on single switch failures in open circuit as well as the two switch failures in the open circuit fault. Similarly, I have gone for single switch failure in short circuit and two switch failures in short circuit. So if any of the failure occurs, if suppose this leg becomes inaccessible and it cannot supply the power or the current, then the control is transferred to the fourth leg, which is called as the auxiliary leg, and the system avoids the shutdown. And definitely the smooth transition occurs from the faulty leg to the normal to the auxiliary leg. So this is the fault tolerant architecture which I was talking about. So the auxiliary leg is introduced in the system in addition to the three-phase legs of the inverter module. This is another fault tolerant architecture involving triacs. This is the control algorithm. I'll be explaining that in the next slide. So the fault tolerant operation should identify the fault and should isolate the faulty leg. So the identification can be performed in many ways. We have performed with measuring the line-to-line voltage. Upon identification, the fault status is confirmed by generating an error signal. That error signal decides what's the nature of the fault. So whether it is an open circuit or a short circuit fault. Once the fault is identified, the control is transferred to the auxiliary leg and the faulty leg is isolated from the system. In order to isolate, we are using the triac arrangement. That particular triac will be activated and the auxiliary leg is connected and the faulty leg will be disabled from the three-phase supply. Now, this is the control algorithm which we have used. My contribution for the research was design of modulation strategies. Yes, I have to design the modulation strategies showing that the shoot through and non shoot through states of the Z source of the impedance source networks works and the high DC voltage gain can be obtained. So these are the voltage and this is the switching signals for two-level inverter. So the two-level inverter is connected to the Z source network. Then yes, if suppose any fault occurs, you have to introduce the auxiliary leg. Another term for auxiliary leg is the redundant leg. The redundant leg comes into the action only if the fault is detected. If there is no fault, this particular leg remains redundant in the system. It means of no use. That's why then another name of auxiliary leg is the redundant leg. This is the control algorithm. Yes, we have gone for speed and rotor position also in addition to the current. So while designing the system, I have designed for current sensor failures, speed sensor failures, and rotor position sensor failures also. So in addition to switch failures, now my research studies have gone towards current and speed sensor failures. Now, this is the experimental setup in my research laboratory at School of Engineering, Macquarie University, Sydney, Australia. So, yes, the D-Space board is used to uh, input the control algorithm using the MATLAB. We have designed the computer, and then as you can see in the oscilloscope, this is the working model which I just took the photo. So, as you can see, this is the pre-fault scenario and the fault is introduced, this is, current becomes zero and then again it is back to the normal value. So this I'll be explaining in next slides only. I was fortunate enough to got the research scholarship for a lab visit at Denmark. So I have been at Aalborg University in Denmark. If you could just Google it out, it's one of the premier institute in research of power electronics and drives. I was there for one semester. It was in global exchange program. I was selected for that. So I have carried out my research in other variants of Z-source inverters. I have developed around 4 models of Z-source inverter in Aalborg, and I have tested for my fault tolerant algorithm. The results were very satisfactory, and yes, I have submitted those results in reputed journals. Now, the fault tolerant operation which we were talking about, it will be more easy if we have gone through the waveform. If we could look towards the waveform, we can see if a single switch failure occurs, suppose in the phase A, the upper IGBT gets faulty, only one half of the waveform is obtained in that particular phase. Definitely, there is an effect on other two phases. They will be not in phase with each other, there will be a slight imbalancing. Similarly, if both the switches of the same phase fails, the current in that particular phase will be zero. Only in other two phases the current will flow. Now comes your fault tolerant algorithm. The fault tolerant algorithm should first identify the nature of the fault, whether it is open circuit or it is short circuit. Once the fault is identified, the nature of the fault is identified, yes, you have gone to the control algorithm. This is your contribution in the research. So you have gone to the control algorithm, and once the control algorithm identifies and localizes which particular phase has the fault, that particular phase is isolated from the system and the redundant leg is connected to the system. So as you can see, when the single switch failure occurs, only one half of the waveform is obtained. Then this is the fault duration. Once I have applied my fault tolerant topology, the motor current is back to its rated value, positive, negative, both the direction, not just the single way. Similarly, for two switch failures in that particular phase A, the current was zero in the fault duration. But as you have implemented your fault tolerant algorithm, the current is back to the rated value again. So yes, the fault tolerant topology worked and I got satisfactory results. The current is back to the rated value. Now, those were the simulation results. So yes, I have verified my theoretical analysis with experimental results. The experimental setups which I have shown you in the Macquarie University lab and the Aalborg University, Denmark research laboratory lab. So as you can see, there's a DC voltage of 100 volts, as I mentioned, and a high voltage gain is obtained. This time the gain was around 3 times. So we have got across 300 volts in the AC voltage output. In the healthy operation, yes, all the three currents are in phase to each other. Now, when the fault is introduced, I have shown for one case for open circuit and one case for short circuit fault. In open circuit fault, as I mentioned, there will be like zero. The current will be at zero value when the fault occurs in the two IGBTs. So this is the normal operation. This is the fault operation. Now, if I have implemented my fault tolerant and the current is back to the rated value. Similarly, the current was going on fine. Suddenly, the short circuit fault occurs. There was a rise in the current. I would tell you my experience while I was implementing this short circuit fault. At least 5 to 7 times the lab got tripped because of my fault injection, because I was implementing the faults through by myself. It's not like the fault has occurred. I have to implement and I have to see the response. So there was like 5 to 7 times the lab was stripped. And in Australia you have to take many licensing, many certifications, or many signatures to just go on there, because there are too much safety restrictions here. So finally, but the circuit worked. So for the short circuit, there was a high rise of current. And then again, due to the fault tolerant control, we are back to the rated value. So I would like to mention here that I have gone only for a rated current value of 2 amperes. I've not gone above that, although it was 5 amperes, because as I mentioned, I faced like 5 to 7 times the trip of the lab, tripping of the lab. So yes, I've reduced my operating current while doing these experiments. Now, as I mentioned, the power quality of the system, of the output which you obtain after the fault tolerant control, should not be degraded. It should be within a specified value, and then only you can just claim, yes, your contribution worked. So in that case, what I did is I plotted the total harmonic distortion, the harmonic spectrum of the output current, which I have obtained in faulty and post-fault operation, which is also called as fault tolerant control algorithm, which is FTC, fault tolerant control operation. So in normal operation, if you see, there's negligible amount of total harmonic distortion. Yes, definitely the system is free from harmonics. The theoretical and experimental values are mentioned here. But if you could see in open circuit and short circuit fault, as compared to normal operation, the values are very high. In single switch and two switch faults, if you can see, the values are 78, 45, 49, 82%. So these values are very high. So the fault tolerant control algorithm, as I mentioned in the aim, should compensate these harmonics also. So in those cases, if you could see by the fault tolerant control algorithm, we could see the values are very minimal. According to IEEE standard 5192014 of the harmonic spectrum, the values should be within 5%. I'm very much low with that. So yes, these are very acceptable values, and the results were very satisfactory in this case. So we have achieved the fault tolerant operation. Yes, the first aim is over. Then second, we have achieved a very good power quality waveform. So that is also achieved. Now, I have done whatever the research values which the values or the prototype which we have designed. I have done the comparative analysis with the already currently practiced in the industries. So these 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 are the references which I'll be giving at the last. So I have compared with the same topologies and for the same applications. These are the certain references which I have compared with my proposed strategy. Yes, I could say the proposed strategies can cover open circuit and short circuit fault accurately. The complexity is simple. If you design a control algorithm, yes, the transfer to the redundant leg or the auxiliary leg will be simple. Yeah, the properties are it is applicable to motor drives, no capacitor balancing issues. We have implemented Z source, we have LNC network. I didn't face any capacitor balancing issues. Yes, the fault tolerant topology was fast and efficient, and it has lower conduction losses. We can see through the total harmonic distortions, the harmonics were also less, and they were less lower conduction losses. Now, your fault tolerant control is designed. It should be evaluated for electric vehicles also. So, in electric vehicles, I have considered four factors. The very first factor is driving cycle response. So, the driving cycles are these are the predefined standard values to test the electrical energy consumption. In Australia, I think in India also we follow new European driving cycle for electric vehicles. So as you can see in the graph, the reference driving cycle and the measured driving cycles, they're nearly same. The measured driving cycle accurately follows the reference driving cycle in the fault tolerant operation. Similarly, if you see the efficiency curves, as I told, the power quality as well as the output should not degrade. The proposed system achieved an efficiency of nearly 85% of the normal operation. We were quite near to the rated value while getting in the fault tolerant operation. Now, speed response. Yes, now we are talking about the electric vehicle application. So, yeah, there will be acceleration, there will be braking actions. So, can you achieve that particular speed? Yes, the observer design or the control algorithm can show that the measured speed follows or tracks back the reference speed very soon in the fault tolerant operation. As well as if you see, yes, the available torque always decreases due to the fault, but with the proposed fault tolerant, the motor torque is compensated back to the rated value. So the reference and the measure graphs are plotted in terms of torque response, and it is also again satisfactory. Now, in terms of torque and speed response, I have also used it for experimental values. So there were two instances of fault which I have introduced. So one instance is this, one instance is this. So as you can see with the introduction of fault, yes, there is a dip in speed, but again, when the fault tolerant control operation is applied, the speed is back to the normal value. And as I mentioned earlier, the speed tracks back the rated value, and which is also achieved in the experimental setup. So the total duration was zero point 0.1 seconds, as you can see in the graph. So yes, it was very fast. So the fault tolerant operation was quick enough to come back to the normal value. And we tried it two times. So there were two instances of fault, and yes, the motor is back to the rated value. So this is a clear picture of the current during experimental result during single switch failure and two switch failures. So single switch failures, only one half of the waveform is obtained. And yes, we are back to the rated value. Similarly, in two switch failure, only zero current in that particular phase. And then again, we are back to the normal value. So yes, the fault tolerant control operation worked in that case. Now, this is the controller response, the reference speed and the measured speed, the tracking is accurate. And similarly in the DQ axis current, the threshold value and the fall in the current is like the tuning is perfect, the designing of the PI controller. And then the observer, if you can see, yes, the estimated value and tracks back your speed in the same way, how whichever way the speed is going. So the tracking, the tuning, everything of the observer was complete. Now, we have come to the conclusion of my research work. Actually, in conclusion, I could just say yes, the system is characterized by high voltage output and fast fault diagnostic strategy. It is an efficient solution for switch failures. I have only focused on the switch failures for this time being, and switch failures only occurs due to open circuit and short circuit faults. And these switches are considered only in the inverter module. I think nowhere else we have the switches, so we have those only considered in the inverter module. Yes, due to the fault tolerant operation, the overall system was operational even after the fault. Okay, and the service continuity was maintained. Yes, it was robust to asymmetrical conditions that might occur due to load variations. As I mentioned, braking and accelerations are certain parameters which should be considered during electric vehicle application. In those applications also, the system worked well. The proposed system has a fast detection time and better torque speed response, because for any motor drives, you always go for torque speed response of the system. Hence, we have already evaluated for electric vehicle application, and the proposed system is suitable for such applications. Now, I'm currently focused towards wind energy systems, and I'm working towards any fault occurs in the wind turbine or the actuator faults. I'm just in the the development stage now. So currently I'm working toward this project. So if any one of you is working or decide to work in this field, do contact me. Definitely we can be in touch. So now these are my certain publications of conferences and journals which I have done already in my PhD. Yes, publications were necessary in the PhD to validate your research, and I was fortunate enough that yes, I have done satisfactory work in this case also. So these are the few references which I have followed for my research. Yes, certainly there were more, but I have just restricted for this presentation. I just restricted to 17 this time. Thank you so much for the session and listening to my research work. This is my email ID. You can just contact me anytime. To all the students who are listening to this session of mine, please remember I was also a student there. I used to sit on the the top floor. The top floor was dedicated for electrical department in my time. I don't know about now. The blue building. Yes, whenever you just cross the building, you always see in the classes. So yes, I remember Tagore Engineering College still, and I was fortunate enough to get in touch with you all now after a gap of 10 years. So I'm privileged. I'm happy. Thank you so much to Sasikla ma'am. Seriously, I cannot just I cannot just express my feelings. But it was really nice to be in contact with everyone. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for listening to the sessions. Any doubts or anything, please do contact me on my email. We can be in touch for any further research work. Definitely, I'm ready to help, and I would always seek your.
Education is the most powerful weapon, which you can use to change the world. Tagore Engineering College. We empower our students to achieve professional and personal success by providing a comprehensive and supportive educational experience.
Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Which is one of the base department in engineering studies. Led by Professor and Dean, Dr. M. A. Paneerselvam. Professor and Head, Dr. K. Srinivasan. Supported by fine blend of dynamic and experienced faculty members, are working for assured progress and prosperity. With Anna University's curriculum, the department places equal emphasis on theoretical and practical domains of electrical and electronics engineering. Department is equipped with state-of-art infrastructure and latest equipment to give practical experience for the students. The laboratories are highly modernized to reflect the rapidly changing trends in technology. We have international standard library for the benefit of the students. Our transport facilities are covering almost all the areas in Chennai, Kanchipuram, Tiruvallur. The department organizes conferences, symposium, in-plant training programs, internship, workshops, guest lectures, skill development programs and seminars regularly by inviting experts from various universities and companies all over the nation. to encourage the students hone their personality and extracurricular skills. Also, it gives social and industrial exposure. Department has Renewable Energy Club. It encouraging the students to develop inventions and research in the renewable energy. Our students has installed 4 kW solar power plant system for our department, 200 watt windmill generator, freewheel generator, etc. Full-fledged placement training is given to our students, with required skills by experts and best trainers from the best industries. In India, 80% of government jobs are related to electrical department. Moreover, the future of transit mobility is vehicles, such as electric cars, electric bikes, etc. So, the demand for an electrical engineer will be more in the forthcoming years. Select perfect path for perfect future.
Admissions open for 2020-21 batch. For admissions, contact 9952277001.